So Bernie Sanders is just about to become the chairman of the Budget Committee. He's been incoming chairman, Senate Budget Committee, for a while now, since it was confirmed that Ossoff and Warnock won, and Republicans have been freaking out about it. Really, they were freaking out back after the November election, when it became clear, because they all really knew Donald Trump lost. Republicans were lying to their base, but every one of those senators knew that Trump lost that election. And so their messaging immediately became, if we lose both Loeffler and Perdue, the 50-50 Senate becomes Democratic because of the tiebreaker being Kamala Harris, and then Bernie Sanders, the socialist, becomes chairman of the Budget Committee. And just a couple days ago, Nikki Haley, one of the biggest names in the GOP, tweeted the following out with like a note of terror, like, get ready for evil. And she said, time to face the harsh reality. Socialist Bernie Sanders will become the chairman of the Senate Budget Committee. He has vowed to use his position to enact his progressive agenda on healthcare, climate, infrastructure spending, and cutting defense spending. Like, all of those things are good. Like, you could write that tweet exactly without changing a thing, and it'd be positive. I could write that tweet, be like, guys, time to face reality. Bernie Sanders, a socialist, will be incoming chairman of the Budget Committee, and he's going to focus on infrastructure, healthcare, education, and not on the military. Like, I could write the exact same tweet with a different inflection. But this is how Republicans are thinking right now. They really are terrified, and I think with some reason, because this is the most powerful Bernie Sanders and other progressive senators who are taking up some committee chairpersonships and chairmanships have been in a really, really, really long time. And I'm going to play you this clip from the Bernie Sanders team, from the Bernie Sanders campaign, which really outlines how Bernie is excited for this position, how Republicans are terrified, and how Bernie can make a real difference in this new role.
If we lose Georgia, Bernie Sanders is the budget chairman.
If we lose the Senate, do you know who becomes the chairman of the Senate Budget Committee?
In 2016, Paul Ryan said Republicans should be scared of Democrats controlling the Senate because Bernie Sanders would be the budget chair.
A guy named Bernie Sanders, you ever heard of him?
Bernie's budget, Bernie Sanders speaking out on spending priorities.
The Senate Budget Committee is really one of the most powerful in Congress because it controls the money.
Sanders has been creating a new stimulus package that could include an emergency universal health care program so that anyone can get medical treatment during the pandemic, whether they currently have insurance or not.
We are proposing to raise the minimum wage so that people can earn a living wage. The American people are hurting very badly. What do the American people want, Lindsey? They want us to create jobs. They want us to rebuild a crumbling infrastructure and create millions of jobs. We now have the opportunity to move this country forward with a very different set of priorities.
Sanders has no problems being loud and bold.
Bernie is a man of his convictions.
I think the job of many of us is to keep banging away over and over again and ask why it is that we end up having millions of people sleeping out on the street.
My friend Bernie Sanders, I can think of no more passionate, devoted ally to working people in this country.
Senator Sanders says that he will use budget reconciliation process to boldly address the needs of working families.
We're talking about moms trying to feed their kids, people worried about being thrown out on the street.
The landlord here has started an eviction process against us.
Never thought I'd be in this situation ever.
I have no money for rent.
If we get kicked out of our house, where are we going to go?
1 out of 4 corporations doesn't pay a nickel in taxes. We are going to start to tax the wealthiest people in this country and the largest corporations. We just voted the largest military budget in the history of this country, $740 billion. The Pentagon can't even do an independent audit. There's an enormous amount of waste in that budget, but no one worries about that. But when it comes to the mom and dad who are struggling to put food on the table for their kids, oh my God, we're worried about the deficit.
I need help because I'm about to be homeless.
What our job has got to be is to bring people together around an agenda that is in fact supported by the vast majority of the American people.
And I think what's important to recognize there is that, Bernie Sanders is going to maintain his streak of independence. And that's crucial. We've all heard the viral song now where Bernie is saying, incoming chairman, Senate Budget Committee, that great viral song. I'll post a link in the description. But, in that clip, it's from a recent Anderson Cooper interview where Bernie is making it clear. Look, the Democrats really messed it up. They really wasted an opportunity, in 2008 to 2010, where they controlled all three branches, much more than they do now, to be fair. And Bernie said, look, they weren't bold. They didn't fight for the people that voted for them. They immediately caved to Republicans and the corporate interests, and the voters punished them 24 months later in the midterms. And the Democrats never again, for the entirety of Obama's presidency, held both houses. They never did. And for the last couple of years, held neither. Right? So the argument became really that the Democrats, need to be stronger. And Bernie has a megaphone to make those priorities known as this budget committee chairman. And another factor here where Bernie can be really strong is in how the bills go to the Senate floor. Bills have to get through committee to go to the Senate floor. But if a bill is not passed through reconciliation, I'm not going to get into the Senate legal mumbo jumbo, but if it doesn't get passed through reconciliation, it basically needs 60 votes. You need to get 60 out of the 100 votes, which means probably at least 10 Republicans. You need 10 Republicans, or I guess 9, and then Harris is the tiebreaker if you can get to 60. I'm not sure how that works. I assume it's got to be 60 flat. You get 10 Republicans. It's not going to happen on very many pieces of progressive legislation, especially. But if you recognize it through reconciliation, and Bernie Sanders, as I have up on the screen here, wants to define and use that term widely and liberally, then you can get things through with 50 votes plus Harris as the tiebreaker, which the Democrats have, at least if Manchin and other moderates play ball some of the time. Or maybe on the rare piece of legislation, they can get a Republican or two on side. So I think that Bernie, in a committee where reconciliation is crucial with budgeting and things like that, will play a major role. And I think that whether it's on a $15 minimum wage or anything else, Bernie Sanders fighting for reconciliation as a way of passing a lot of legislation will be able to get around Republicans blocking a lot of the things that Joe Biden ran on and a lot of the things that Democratic voters want. Look, Bernie Sanders should be president. He should be. In a just world, this man would be president. The poor people and working class of the United States especially deserve this man and his platform to be in the White House. It didn't work out that way. But this is probably the best place for Bernie to be, if I'm being honest. Besides that, if Bernie was in cabinet, and I know Bernie expressed interest of being in cabinet, he would be basically silenced. We would stop hearing from Bernie Sanders. He not only would lose his ability to hold Republicans to account in the Senate, he would also lose his ability to criticize Democrats. Because when you're in cabinet, you basically have to toe the cabinet line of the president. You serve on his pleasure. He can fire you basically whenever he wants. That's part of being in cabinet. Bernie Sanders being in his Senate seat, chairman of the Budget Committee, can not only terrify ghouls like Nikki Haley and Lindsey Graham and all the other Republicans, but can also criticize Democrats if, and we know this, when they fail and when they sell out their own voters. So I am excited for this. Bernie Sanders has never been more powerful, and the working class may make some serious gains because of it.